Hi, everybody. This is Dr. Nigro with a notes screencast for chemistry dealing with Unit 2. We're talking about the atom and the mole, and this will be our first screencast that incorporates the mole. And specifically, we'll talk about how to convert between moles of a substance and particles of that substance. All right, so before we can really get into that, we really should define this word, the mole. That's going to be a new word for us, a new term. All right, and the mole is a pretty simple concept. It's a group of small particles, something like atoms or molecules. And it could be even something smaller like protons, neutrons, or electrons. The key is the word small. All right. And the reason for that is the number of particles within a mole is large. It's very, very big. All right. So if you go to the grocery store, or you go to a flower shop, you might purchase a dozen eggs, or maybe you purchase a dozen flowers or a dozen cookies, right? But we know that that means that there are 12 items within that dozen. So one dozen of anything is 12 items. All right, so a mole is going to be much larger than that. A mole has 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd particles. All right, so that's writing 602 with 21 additional zeros after that, too. It is a huge number. All right, so one mole of any substance contains this number 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd items or particles. And so because that number is so large, the particles themselves have to be really, really small or they would take up a huge amount of space, right? If we had 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd basketballs, for example, all right, and we put them all together, it would be the size of the earth. Right, that is a lot, and we don't need to measure that much in basketballs. A dozen basketballs is plenty, right? But if we have atoms or we have molecules which are very small and don't take up very much space, then we need to group them into a very large group so that they are observable to us. All right, so this is called a unit equality, right? And we use it to set up ratios that allow us to cancel units. All right, now I'm going to slide down to the back page of this worksheet. We'll come back to this other stuff, to this portion that says moles to particles. All right, so we're going to fill this in. This is a scaffold to help guide you for when you set up your problem. So I just want to make sure that everybody understands what we're doing. All right, so remember, one mole, which we abbreviate MOL, is equal to 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd particles. All right, and that particle can be atoms, it could be molecules, right? It could be protons, it could be neutrons, it could be electrons. We just really want it to be something small. All right, so how do we use this in our problems? Well, we use a system called dimensional analysis, which is really a fancy way of saying unit cancellation. All right, these problems are set up so that whatever unit you have to start with goes in the bottom of your conversion factor so that it can cancel. And then whatever you're looking for goes in the top of your conversion factor. All right, so for example, let's say we wanted to go from moles to particles. That means that we're going to start with moles. All right, so there'll be some amount of moles that will be given in our problem. All right, and what that means is that the conversion factor is going to have moles of that substance in the denominator, the bottom of that conversion factor. All right, we're trying to find particles of that substance, so that's going to be in the top, particles of A. And then our unit equality tells us what numbers need to go with each of those units. So one mole of any substance contains 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd particles. All right, so our moles are going to cancel, and our unit that is left is the unit of what we are looking for. Okay, so that's if we're starting with moles and going to particles. Well, these problems also can run the other direction. Maybe we start with particles and we convert to moles. So again, those particles will be given in our problem. So we'll use what's given in the problem to fill in this first blank. And then this unit is going to go in the bottom of that conversion factor, particles of A. Now we're trying to find moles, so that's going to be up top, all right? And then we again go back to our unit equality where 1 mole of any substance contains 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd particles. So these particles will cancel and we're going to be left with units of moles. All right, so when we want to set up dimensional analysis, or unit cancellation problems, this is what we're going to be doing. You're going to hear me talk a lot about what needs to go in the bottom of our conversion factor, and that's always going to be whatever we are trying to cancel, whether it is moles or particles. Okay, so let's apply this. We're going to go back to the page that we were working on, and we're going to work a couple problems using this method. All right, it's going to seem a little tedious towards the end just because it's very repetitive, but I find that the more repetitive it is, the better you guys get at it. So I know it's going to seem a little strange, but we're going to just power through. All right, so how many atoms are in 0.58 moles of selenium? All right, so here's your given, and here's what you want. All right, so we want to know moles, atoms, and we're given moles. So I tend to write a plan off to the side. All right, so what that would look like, I'd say, okay, I have 0.58 moles of selenium, and I'm asked to calculate the atoms of selenium. All right, so the substance is the same, selenium and selenium, and I can convert directly between the two if I use this number, this Avogadro's number, the 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd. All right, so this is going to be a one-step problem. All right, so I start with what I've been given, 0.58 moles of selenium. All right, and my conversion factor is going to put that unit in the bottom. So moles of selenium in the bottom and atoms of selenium up top. And I know that for every 1 mole of selenium, it's going to contain 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd atoms. All right. So when we're using our calculators with these large numbers, we need to use scientific notation, and most calculators have special buttons for that. All right. So if you need to use your scientific notation buttons, I want you to look on your calculator for buttons that say EXP or buttons that say EE or buttons that say times 10 to the X, right? Those are all scientific notation buttons and they help put the numbers in correctly. Now, when you're working at home, you may get stuck, and that's okay. Just come in and I will help you with your calculator, all right? The one thing you cannot use, all right, so do not use the inverse of log. All right, so just be careful that we use the right buttons. All right, so if I type 0.58 in my calculator and multiply that by 6.0 times 10 to the 23rd, I'm going to get 3.5 times 10 to the 23rd. And this is going to be atoms of selenium. So 0.58 moles of selenium contains 3.5 times 10 to the 23rd atoms of selenium. All right, let's try another one. All right, this one says how many moles contain 6.8 times 10 to the 24th molecules of BaNO3? All right, so again, here is my given. All right, and here's what I want. All right, so I've got 6.80 times 10 to the 24th molecules of BaNO3. All right, and I want to convert that into moles of BaNO3. All right, so again, same chemical substance, barium nitrate to barium nitrate. So it's a one-step problem, and I'm going to use Avogadro's number again, the 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd. And this will again be a one-step calculation. So I start with what I've been given, 6.80 times 10 to the 24th molecules, and I'm just going to write BaNO3 down below just so it's not in the way. All right, and then my conversion factor is going to put those molecules in the bottom. So molecules of BaNO3, and I'm trying to find moles of BaNO3. All right, and my unit equality tells me that for every 1 mole of a substance, it contains 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd molecules of that substance. All right, so this time I'm going to use scientific notation twice. I'm going to put in 6.80 times 10 to the 24th. I'm going to divide that by 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd. And I'm going to find that this is 11.3 moles of barium nitrate. Okay. All right. For this one, how many atoms are in 1.25 moles of carbon dioxide? All right. So again, we've got our given and we've got what we want. All right. So if we think about our plan, 1.25 moles of CO2, and we're trying to calculate the number of, this should actually say molecules, not atoms. All right. Molecules. Sorry about that. All right, that's a different question, atoms. We're not going to be doing that today. All right, so we're converting from CO2 to CO2. So this is going to be a one-step problem. And we're going to be, again, using Avogadro's number to make that jump. All right, so start with what we've been given, 1.25 moles of carbon dioxide, CO2. All right, our conversion factor is going to put the unit in the bottom from what we've been given. So moles of CO2 in the bottom, molecules of CO2 up top. And according to our unit equality, 1 mole of any substance contains 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd molecules of that substance. So I'm going to multiply Avogadro's number times 1.25 moles, and I'm going to get 7.50 times 10 to the 23rd molecules of CO2. All right, so 1.25 moles of carbon dioxide contains 7.50 times 10 to the 23rd molecules. All right. How many moles contain 5.38 times 10 to the 24th molecules of MgBr2? All right, so we've got our given, and we're looking for moles, right? So 5.38 times 10 to the 24th molecules of, I'm going to put MgBr2 underneath. I'll run out of room, is how many moles of MgBr2? All right, again, same substance. I'm going to the mole. I'm going to use Avogadro's number again here, and it should be a one-step problem. All right, now tomorrow or the next day in class, we'll be talking about some two-step problems, but we're going to start with one steps to begin with. All right, so we're given 5.38 times 10 to the 24th molecules of MgBr2. So our conversion factor is going to put those molecules in the bottom. So molecules of MgBr2, moles of MgBr2 up top. And again, we use our unit equality. So 1 mole of any substance contains 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd molecules of that substance. So we do our division, 5.38 times 10 to the 24th divided by 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd, and we find that we have 8.94 moles of MgBr2. All right, and then last, how many atoms of magnesium are in a 1.25 mole sample? All right, so again, we have our given. We're looking for atoms. All right, so 1.25 moles of magnesium. How many atoms of magnesium? All right, we're going to again use Avogadro's number to make this jump, and this will be a one-step problem. So we start with what we've been given, 1.25 moles of magnesium. Our unit equality, rather, the conversion factor, we're going to put the moles of magnesium in the bottom, and what we want, atoms of magnesium up top. And our equality tells us that for every 1 mole of magnesium, it contains 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd atoms. All right, so that'll let us cancel those moles. All right, and we're going to find that we have 7.50 times 10 to the 23rd atoms, atoms of magnesium. All right, so I want to take a moment to just point something out. Right, if you look at number 3 and number 5, you can see that both of them had the same number of moles of the substance. One was carbon dioxide, the other was magnesium. All right, and if you're paying attention, you can see that our answer for the two is the same. Right, that's reasonable because 1 mole of anything contains 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd particles. For problem number 3, we were talking about molecules of CO2, but because we had 1.25 moles, it had 7.50 times 10 to the 23rd molecules of CO2. For number 5, we were still talking about 1.25 moles, but we were looking at an atom, so it's the same number of atoms of magnesium, 7.50 times 10 to the 23rd. All right, so when it comes to converting between particles and moles, it does not matter what the substance is. There's always 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd particles within a mole of anything. All right, so it makes things a little bit easier. You only need to remember that one number, 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd. Okay, so as you move forward with your unit conversions, you need to remember that if you want to move back and forth between moles and particles, you need Avogadro's number. Whoops. Oh, I always spell that wrong. Avogadros. There we go. All right, which tells us that 1 mole of any substance contains 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd items or particles. All right, so just keep that in mind and then follow your units.